Absolutely.
I'm sorry. Yeah, that is...
No, you know this about California. Come on.
No, I don't.
Well,
I'm sorry, I don't.
You've never heard that California is overtaxed and overregulated? That we are a one-party state where there's sort of no checks on that sort of extreme leftism. And that, what do you think?
I don't for a minute consider California a state that is extreme leftist. Not at all, not any way.
Well, that shows where your politics are. That's not where mine are. I'm sorry to tell you, is because that, I've been saying this on my show, there is two parts of the Trump coalition. There's about a third of this country who always loved the hard right wing.
Mm-hmm.
That's the Birch Society. We're old enough to remember the John Birch Society.
I had family members who were John Birch.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
In this captivating video, Bill Maher takes on a woke guest in a heated exchange that will leave you stunned. A controversial comment from the guest ignites a fiery debate, with Maher delivering a sharp and unflinching response. Renowned for his fearless critiques, Maher dismantles the guest's argument with precision, creating a moment that's sure to captivate anyone interested in the culture wars. This intense confrontation highlights Maher at his finest, boldly challenging the rise of extreme, woke ideologies. As the guest struggles to defend their position, Maher's wit and logic shine through, solidifying his reputation as a leading voice against the excesses of woke culture. The clash touches on critical issues like free speech, accountability, and the perils of ideological overreach. For fans of Maher's unapologetic style and incisive commentary, this is a must-watch. Don't miss this unforgettable exchange as Bill Maher takes a stand and exposes the flaws in woke extremism.
And these were people who were happy when Kennedy got assassinated. They became the birthers. They became the Tea Party. There's about a third of this country that's very hard right.
Mm-hmm.
Of course they love Trump. When he left office, he had an approval rating of 34%. So he really only had those people.
Mm-hmm.
Why is he now like tied? Because the other part of the coalition are people who, they don't really like him that much.
Mm-mm.
They just think the far left has gone so nutty on so many issues.
That's what they're being told.
That's what
By people like you.
Because it's true. You think the far left does nothing crazy?
Oh, I'm sure they do.
Oh, well then.
But I don't know, who is the far left? What do you mean when you say far left?
I mean, I could give you a million examples.
Yeah, well, give me one.
Okay, the NAACP.
You think the NAACP is far left?
Could I finish my sentence?
Yes.
You asked me for an example.
Yeah.
The NAACP last year issued a travel advisory. You know, that's like the State Department does to go to, I'm sure when you went to Vietnam, they were advising you not to. There's a war on it.
I didn't talk to them. I don't have no.
I know, but you know a travel advisory.
Yeah.
Today we have them for very dangerous countries. You
Yeah.
know, don't go to North Korea. Don't go to Iran.
Yeah.
I believe the far left is more about an ideology than specific individuals. Focusing on naming people as representatives of the far left seems pointless. What truly matters are the ideas and policies they advocate. While Bill Maher occasionally criticizes the far left, I still consider many of his beliefs aligned with far left ideologies. One issue that stands out is his stance on abortion. Maher's comments, such as acknowledging abortion as murder, yet stating he's fine with it, are, in my opinion, absurd and contradictory. This illustrates how even someone critical of woke culture can still embody elements of far-left ideology. Rather than targeting individuals, the real issue lies in the far left's ideology and the ideas they attempt to impose. The problem isn't the people themselves, but the broader agenda and its impact on society. Media personalities, for example, play a significant role in shaping public opinion. Platforms like The View, or figures like Bill Maher, despite occasionally calling out the woke left, still push ideas that align with far-left principles. In essence, the focus should be on addressing the ideology and its influence, rather than getting bogged down in naming individuals. The core challenge remains the ideas that are being propagated and how they shape societal norms and values.
Do you know where they issued a travel advisory for black people not to go?
Yeah.
Florida. Every day there's stories like that that just makes people roll their eyes and go, are you people nuts? Even if they don't matter that much, I don't think one person listened to this and thought, I can't go to Florida. But they just suggest something to the average person, which I completely understand, which is, wow, do you people ever find anything that's ridiculous? Do you really think men can get pregnant? You know, that kind of stuff. And I understand that a trans woman can get pregnant. That's different than a man getting pregnant. And the way they sort of insist on blurring that line is if that's some sort of reasonable social cause, as opposed to just being for having full rights, respect, and protection for trans people. We get that.
So I've never heard about men getting pregnant. I've never heard about this argument. It must be some part of what you call the far left that is so minuscule that I, who am...
No, Jane,
what?
It's not minuscule, and I'm sorry, you can't throw this back on us. I assume it's because you are locked into media that just never wants anyone in their audience to know anything sketchy about the blue team.
Bill Maher is absolutely spot on with his observation that many people who vote for Donald Trump aren't die-hard supporters, but rather see him as the enemy of my enemy. But then, the far left's extreme rhetoric and policies have become so outrageous that Trump is viewed as a necessary counterbalance, even if he's not their ideal candidate. This sentiment is driven by the belief that without Trump, figures like Kamala Harris could assume power, potentially leading to disastrous consequences for the US and the world, with some even fearing global conflict. I resonate with the group Maher describes, individuals who may not be unwavering Trump loyalists, but feel compelled to support him because the alternative seems far worse. The extremism of the left, from radical social policies to divisive cultural narratives, pushes many toward Trump out of necessity rather than pure admiration. This dynamic has polarized politics further, creating a cycle where people feel forced to pick a side, often out of fear or frustration, rather than wholehearted alignment with their chosen candidate. Maher is right to call out the absurdity and overreach of the left, which has driven moderate individuals to take harder stances, fostering deeper divisions and stronger animosity toward the other side. This polarization ultimately shapes a political landscape where compromise feels impossible, and every election becomes a battle of extremes.
So, but the Republicans tried to catch the Democrats with this, and they put this on, they brought it up in Congress, and all the Democrats voted against it. The Democratic politicians were not for defunding the police. It's that radical fringe that has captured a lot of the media, academia, some of these cultural institutions that are not liberal anymore by my old school liberalism. The ACLU was all about free speech. They don't really believe in it anymore. They believe, in one of their chief people who is trans said, I will die on this hill of banning this book, which was a very reasonable book about a subject that's still debatable.
What was the subject of the book?
How we should treat kids who say they are trans.
Oh, yeah.
Which is one of those issues, I think, which is, there's a centrist position that's like, yes, of course, it's a real thing that we should deal with, but we are a country that does it in a way no other country does anymore.
How so?
The side that champions free speech often does so, only until their ideas falter in the marketplace of ideas, and that's exactly what's happening now. The push for censorship typically comes from the side that struggles to defend its arguments, and in today's climate, there's one side clearly leading the charge to silence opposing views as we move into 2024 and 2025. In this episode of Club Random, Bill Maher confronts these challenges head-on, taking on a woke guest in a heated debate that exposes the flaws in their argument. Maher's no-nonsense approach dismantles the guest's perspective, creating a striking moment of clarity in the broader discussion about free speech and ideological extremism. So, who do you think came out on top in this debate? Was it Bill Maher with his sharp wit and logic, or his guest who struggled to hold their ground? Share your thoughts on this intense exchange, and what it says about the ongoing culture wars. Let us know what you think about Bill Maher's approach and the state of free speech today. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe to channel